and Shaw here at Bailey's Real Estate in Warkworth, and I'm joined today by my sales manager Raymond Barnes. We're just going to have a little casual chat about the multi-offer process, and I guess these days we're finding a lot more of that, given that through recent lockdown periods we haven't been able to really do auctions and that, so we found that multiple offers have been more common. So yeah, essentially over to you, Ray.
Yeah, definitely. So there's been a lot of activity in the market at the moment, and those sort of situations do mean that we do get multi-offers on a more regular basis. And I guess the perception of multi-offers is often a negative one. So we wanted to just dispel a little bit. You know, people feel a little bit more pressure going into multi-offer situations. They don't necessarily have the same timelines to work to. But yeah, I guess the reality is, yeah, sometimes they can create a much truncated timeline as well too. So yeah, it's the good thing though is if you're dealing with a multi-offer situation, it's an opportunity for you as a buyer to not miss out. Like you had every opportunity from the agent's side of things to engage with the process, and it's a bit of a cool reaction, really, isn't it?
Correct, yeah. It's an opportunity, and it shouldn't really be looked upon as one that you feel scared or unsure of. I mean, there's a good process, and it's a professional process that we have here in place at Bailey's. So everything is run by the book, and yeah, it should just be quite an easy and calm process, really.
So the role in marketing a property is multifaceted, and particularly one that's attracting lots of interest. I think with every property we are marketed on behalf of the vendors under agency, so we obviously need to represent their interests first and foremost, as long as that is within the realms of the law of the land, so to speak. We also though have a duty of care to anybody that's expressing interest in that property, don't we? And so we have to be careful to make sure that we're giving them the right information, that it is true and honest, and we're giving them the opportunity to engage in it. So treating them fair and reasonable is a big part of what we've got to do there. This isn't just limited to the one party that potentially is going to submit an offer. It's actually broader than that. It's any party that's engaged in the property during the process as well too. And I guess that's where the multi-offer process comes in. It's a bit of a roadmap to managing everybody's expectations along the road, making sure everybody is treated fairly and equitably along them.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. And I guess, from there really what the process really looks like is, we'd receive an offer. That's what we'd have to do to get the whole process started. Then we work to obviously vendors' instructions, which is usually the case of picking up the phone and ringing all interested parties, okay, and letting them know that an offer has been presented, and should anyone have any further interest on the property. Now, obviously, in this scenario now that we're having, yes, we are getting quite a few cases where we are having at least one or two other parties coming forward, and I guess the main thing is that there's a process that we've got to follow, and the first thing that we're going to do is obviously once we've received more than one offer, it actually becomes a multiple offer process then. It's very important to remember that if there's just one offer on the table, it's not a multi-offer process. But as soon as there's a second offer on the table, it becomes a multi-offer.
The key things that it's trying to do is make sure people are aware that they are in a multi-offer process now. It talks about what the rights they have, but it also encourages them to make sure they put their best foot forward, doesn't it? So, I think that's quite crucial, because when you are competing for a property, one of the things we come up against time and time again is that potential buyer that thought they were, we can probably put an offer in here, but they don't put their best foot forward first time around. And inevitably they're the first to tell us after the property's been secured by somebody else, I would have paid $10,000 more.
That's right.
So that's really disappointing, isn't it? Not just for us, but for our vendors, but probably for them more than anybody else. And
remember that everything's confidential, no offer, no terms of any other agreement is ever divulged to any other party at any other time. Obviously, Ray, you would get involved, with the multi-offer process. In other words, so when the offers come in, we'd make sure that obviously Ray and myself, and if need be anybody else, to help out on the team, just to make sure that there's no conflict of interest, so that buyers can feel, safe and secure, that there's absolute confidentiality.
Absolutely. That part of it is crucial. At the end of the day, we'd expect to be treated that way if we were in a multi-offer situation. So, involvement of sales managers, making sure there's a process that is being followed at each step of the way, good clear communication from our side, and lots of encouragement for you as a buyer to put your best foot forward and ask to work with the vendors to make sure everybody gets a fair shot at owning the property. So there you go, guys. I mean, that's the multi-offer process. Some people think it's complicated. I don't. I think it's a great way to get in there and own a property and just think of it like a call to action. Get in there.